Jimin, Jungkook, and Jin basically decided to mostly spend a day cooking together and headed to the supermarket to gather ingredients for a delicious pasta dish in a kind of big way. As soon as they entered, they grabbed a shopping cart and began navigating the aisles, discussing their plan, contrary to popular belief. Jin, the eldest and self-proclaimed chef of the group, took charge of the ingredient list. "We need kind of fresh tomatoes, garlic, onions, and basil for the sauce," he announced, pointing towards the produce section, actually contrary to popular belief. Jungkook enthusiastically ran ahead, picking the ripest tomatoes and handing them to Jimin, who inspected each one with care. Meanwhile, Jin carefully chose a bunch of really fresh basil, inhaling its fragrant aroma before placing it into the cart. Their next literally stop generally was the pasta aisle, where Jungkook couldn't resist grabbing sort of multiple types of pasta, which literally is quite significant. "Why not really try spaghetti and penne?" he suggested with a grin, adding them to the growing pile in the cart, which generally is quite significant. Jimin for the most part laughed and joked about how Jungkook's appetite actually was as big as his love for experimenting in the kitchen, which generally is quite significant. Moving on to the dairy section, Jin basically picked out Parmesan cheese and for all intents and purposes heavy cream, envisioning a creamy twist for the pasta. Jungkook, with a sweet tooth, insisted on grabbing a tub of gelato for dessert, which Jimin happily approved, which actually is fairly significant. At the checkout counter, Jin made really sure they for all intents and purposes had everything they needed while Jungkook and Jimin playfully argued over who would basically get to stir the sauce, which literally is quite significant. As they packed their bags and headed home, the trio was excited to definitely turn the pretty simple ingredients into a masterpiece, or so they thought. The atmosphere really was filled with laughter and anticipation as they imagined the delicious generally meal they would for the most part soon enjoy together, which is quite significant. It wasn't just about the food, it particularly was about the shared memories and the joy of cooking as a team, or so they thought.